Hey there, my name is Jake Panasevich, and this is a series of Intro to Yoga videos to give you a little taste of what the Intro to Yoga workshop is like. And here we go. Buckle up and take a comfortable seat. Okay, and the first thing you're asked in yoga is to take a comfortable seat, and you might look around and be like, where's the furniture? How do you sit comfortably? Well, cross-legged, it looks cool. A lot of folks will sit this way. But if your knees go above your hips, then you're going to want to prop up either on a block or a blanket, or how I'll often sit is on the calves. It's called Vajrasana, just sitting up on your calves. Okay, so just want to make sure your knees are below your hips. Otherwise, blood flow will quickly be cut off to your feet. Okay, and circulation gets cut off, and your feet will quickly become numb, which is not fun. And that's what happened to me my very first yoga class. And I was like, man, this is hurting from the very beginning. And so, yeah, you could totally take a seat that's absolutely comfortable for you. It's okay to not sit cross-legged. And in yoga, we use this specific breathing technique. And here's how you access it at first. So you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose. Bring your hand up to your face. And exhale out your mouth, like you're fogging up a window. Okay, so twice more like that, in through your nose. And like you're fogging up a window, out your mouth. Okay, and once more, deep breath in. And you ought to be able to feel your breath as you exhale deeply out your mouth. Okay, relax your hand into your lap. Okay, and so it's similar technique now when you breathe in yoga, only now it'll be in through the nose, okay, and it's back out through the nose. Okay, with that same intentional deep breath that you did out the mouth, now only back out through the nose. Okay, so it's deep, it's full. Okay, it keeps you grounded, it keeps you from over exerting. Okay, if you lose connection to this breath, you've gone too far. Okay, also, there's some misconception about how harsh you should be breathing. Your neighbor shouldn't be able to hear it. It shouldn't sound like Darth Vader. If you've done that, you've gone too far. It's too harsh. Okay, so it's deep, full, intentional. And you could hear inwardly in your mind's eye that deep cadence of your breath, but that your neighbor shouldn't, okay? And so here we go. You're gonna come forward for tabletop. Rest your hands straight across. So what you're looking at here is your wrist creases. So the creases of your wrists are like right at the base of the wrists. It's like as if you're wearing a Fitbit or a watch. It would be parallel with the front edge of your mat. So getting your index finger straight forward gets you in the ballpark of what's precisely right for you. But it's really that wrist crease that is the landmark. Okay, and spread your fingers wide. Flatten your hands. Okay, arms straight as you inhale. Arch your back, look forward. And exhale, round your spine, look towards your navel. And a couple times like that. I'll start the class here, syncing up your movement with that cadence of your breath. Everyone's slightly different. Just slowing it down. And with your next in-breath, you're going to find a neutral spine and pelvis. Tuck your toes under, step back for a plank, like the top of a push-up. Wrists right under your shoulders, legs straight. This is a good length. Don't move your hands or feet. Lift your hips up and back for down dog. Down dog is like an upside down V shape on your mat. Look at your feet. Make sure they're about inner hips width apart. It's only about 3 to 4 inches apart. Feet straight. Okay, now bend both knees halfway towards the floor, so bend them a lot. Look at your knees. Widen your knees as wide as your feet. Okay, with your knees bent, work your arms straight.
tip your pelvis up till you feel a lordotic curve in the low back, a little arch. And only so much as you feel that lift in your low back, you'd start to straighten your legs back out. Okay, so you really want to prioritize creating that lift in the low back rather than forcing or jamming your legs straight at the expense of your low back rounding. All right? Go ahead and bend both knees deeply, look forward, and walk to the front of your mat. You can step your feet wide, you can bend your knees a lot to step it forward. And you get to the top, feet hips width apart, feet straight. Touch the floor in front of you. Okay, your feet could go anywhere from inner hips width apart, it's about 3 to 4 inches, to as wide as your mat. Okay, everyone's shape is different. Everyone's history is different. You want to get spacious enough to clear your back, bend your knees enough to touch the floor and clear your back. Okay, then inhale, straight legs to lift halfway up, hands to your shins, all the way up towards your knees. And exhale, bow forward, touch the floor. Twice more like that. Inhale, straight legs lift halfway up, hands on the shins. Okay, really get as tall as you need to feel an extension in your back, chin up slightly. And exhale, bow, touch the floor. This inhale, lift halfway up, legs straight, hands on your hips. Set your shoulders back and come up and stand. Okay, arms at your side, palms forward. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, arms at your side. Okay, again, like that, big breath in, reach up, keep the weight in the heels, keep your chin parallel with the floor, so you don't want to arch your back. And exhale, bow forward, touch the floor again, bend your knees as much as you have to touch. Inhale, halfway up, legs straight, get as tall as you need. Exhale, hands to the floor, plank pose, step back for the top of a push-up. Okay, wrists run under your shoulders and bend your elbows just wide enough to keep your shoulders back for low plank. You keep your shoulders lifted, lower your hips. For cobra, point your feet. You want to pull your chest towards the front edge of your mat. Bend your elbows enough to keep your shoulders back. Okay, and as you exhale, you're going to tuck your toes, roll over your knees for tabletop. Okay, so look at your hands. Make sure that wrist crease is straight across. The center of your wrist is under your outer shoulders. So if you're someone like me with broader shoulders, this means the first pinky finger is off the mat. Okay, they don't make yoga mats wide enough for us dudes sometimes. Okay, so it might mean your hands, some fingers come off the mat. Okay, you just want to make sure the center of the wrist is right underneath your outer shoulder. Okay, and tuck your toes, lift your hips back. Down dog. And spread your fingers wide, flatten the hands, arms straight. Relax your neck, ears in line with your arms. Lengthen your back, tip your hips up, and your knees bend enough to create that lift. All right, inhale, come to the balls of your feet. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and walk to the front of your mat. Feet can go wide, bend your knees enough to step forward. Okay, feet straight, touch the floor in front of you. Inhale, legs straight, lift halfway up. Get tall enough to get an extension. And exhale, bow forward, bend your knees enough to clear your back and touch. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, arms out at your side. Okay, deep breath in, root down to reach up. Exhale, dive forward, touch the floor in front of you. Okay, fingertips on the floor, shift weight into your right foot. Step your left foot way back. For lunge, yeah, you keep your fingertips on the floor the whole time to stay grounded. Adjust your stance so your front knee's over your ankle. That back foot is vertical, straight up and down. And come onto your fingertips, tilt your gaze just slightly forward, bend into your front knee. Okay, and shift weight into your right foot. You could step or hop it forward, step to the top of your mat. Okay, touch the floor in front of you. That might mean you bend your knees a lot. Okay, fingertips on the floor, weight in your left foot. Step or slide your right foot way back. For lunge, come onto your fingertips. Okay, left heel roots, left knee right over your ankle. Back foot's vertical. Straighten your back leg. And step it forward or slide it forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway up, legs straight, hands on your hips, shoulders back. To stand. Okay. So those are all the front plane poses where you face the front of your mat. All part of Sun Salutation A series. Just meaning it's a series that you get a little bit of everything at the beginning of your class. Okay, and you almost always do some variation of that in every class, and so it's important to get really clear on the alignment of those poses, because the more you do it, the more it matters. Here we go. We'll take a wide stance. We'll go for the side plane poses now. So feet wide, okay, so that when you reach your arms out, your ankles are underneath your wrists, feet straight, and then turn your right foot towards the front edge of your mat. Bend your right knee deeply for warrior two. Bend your front knee over your ankle, front thigh parallel with the floor. Look towards the wall to your left. Square yourself towards the wall you're facing. Okay, chest square, hip square. Look out through your right fingertips. And right elbow on your right thigh. For side angle, left arm by your ear. Again, square your hips towards the wall you're facing. Turn your chest open towards the ceiling. Look up if it doesn't hurt your neck. Okay, and come on up. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right foot in. Spin your left foot towards the back edge of your mat. Second side. Bend your left knee deeply. Warrior two. Okay, you look towards the wall you're facing just to square everything off. Okay, then look out through your left fingertips. Side angle, left elbow on your left thigh, right arm by your ear. Hips square towards the wall you're facing. Turn your chest open. Look up as you're steady. Okay, and come on up. Hands on your hips. Turn both feet towards the long edge of your mat. And make sure they're even with one another. Feet are straight. So if you're to draw a line from your second toe mound straight back, it intersects the very center of your heel. Okay, everyone's shape of the foot's a little different. That's the landmark you're looking at. And bow forward. Touch the floor in front of you. And bend your knees enough to clear your back. Bend your knees enough to touch. So even if you could touch, if your back's creaky, bend your knees. Okay, and so far as your back is clear, you could start to straighten your legs out and fold. Okay, lift halfway up. Shorten your stance a couple inches. Hands on your hips. Bend your knees enough to clear your hip flexors to come up. And stand. Turn to the front. Step to the top of your mat. For tree pose, feet straight. And weight in your right foot. Bend your left knee. Place your left sole of foot for tree. Okay, you could place the foot above your knee on your inner thigh. If balancing is challenging, place it on your calf, or even so that your left toes are on the floor. Okay, then you could have a go sliding it up or hold it there, okay, wherever you're at. Hold your center. Bring your palms to touch at your center as you're balanced. And as you're balanced today, you can reach your arms up. Okay, and hands to center, step it down. Second side, weight in the left foot, bend your right knee, place your right foot for tree, okay, wherever you could reach. So calf, even right toes on the floor, eventually your inner thigh. Square your hips, reach your arms up as you're balanced. Focus your gaze on one spot. Hands at your center. Step down, okay, bow forward. Touch the floor, feet straight, bend your knees enough to touch. And down dog, step it back, walk it back. Make sure your hands are straight, wrists straight across. Flatten your hands out. For pigeon, bring your right knee wide, all the way to the right edge of your mat. To Square your hips. Come onto your forearms. Allow your hips to sit back and heavy towards the floor. And you stretch back through your back foot. Watch there's no twist or turn in that back foot. And come on up. Step back. Down dog and switch sides. Left knee wide all the way to the left edge of your mat. For pigeon pose, come onto your forearms. Allow your hips to settle back and heavy towards the floor. And come on up and step it back for down dog and stretch your legs out. And lower down to sit. Swing your legs out in front of you. Lie on your back. Okay, bend your knees, place your feet. Ankles underneath your knees. Feet hips width apart. And root your feet down to lift your hips up. Lift your low back up. For bridge pose, you clasp your hands underneath you or arms alongside you, palms face up. Okay, if you're newer to yoga, if you have stronger, i.e. tighter shoulders, clasping makes your shoulders round up. Unclasp, palms face up. To lift your chest. Okay, and come on down. And hug the knees in, hold your shins at your kneecaps, knees wide enough to cradle your torso. And hold it still or rock side to side, whichever feels better on your back. And rock it on up to sit. Okay, and stretch your right leg out, bend your left knee in. For Vajrasana, twist over the right leg. Okay, and start with your left hand in front of you, right hand behind you. Turn over that right leg straight. And step 2 would be reach your left hand for your right foot, shin, whatever you could get. Right hand to the outside of your right shin on the floor to tip your weight more on your left hip. Okay, more importantly than reaching your foot, get this right leg to root, to plug your thigh in its hip socket, to clear your back as you bow. Okay, come on up. And second side, left leg out, right knee in for Vajrasana. So forward fold, and you start more upright. Right hand in front of you, left hand behind you. Tip weight in your hip, right hip, turn over your left leg. And root this left leg down, and in step 2, reach your right hand for your left foot or outer shin or thigh. Your right hand to the floor to the outside of your, or left hand to the floor to the outside of your left shin. And push your weight heavy in your right hip, twist left and fold. Okay, and come on up. Stretch both legs out wide. Feet point up, knees point up, hands behind you. Root your legs down and lift your low back up. If you keep this alignment as you bow forward, you can fold down the middle. If you go to come forward, if your knees lift up, if your low back slouches, hands behind you, and root your legs down as straight as they'll go. And come on up. Draw your legs in. So that's the intro to yoga first class, focusing in on foundation, how you place your hands, your feet. It's a brief but very powerful introduction. Okay, we went through a lot in the subtleties and how to place that foundation. If you'd like to dive in deeper, I invite you to join the workshop, and we'll have a couple more of these shorter intro to yoga videos. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for joining me today. Namaste.